Ricky, special treat. We have Christopher Roundtree and James Dara in the studio this morning. Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Morning.
Welcome.
Thank you.
We're talking Opera Omaha here this morning, and something that is new to us, the flowering tree. What is a flowering tree? Who wants to tackle that one?
Wait,
I'm like, yeah, you go. No, it's an awesome opera written really recently by probably the most famous, preeminent, amazing living American composer, John Adams.
Which you've worked with numerous times, we understand.
Yeah, I've worked on a piece that he wrote a few years ago, an oratorio that the LA Phil had commissioned that toured, and got to know him there. And Chris has conducted on a program that he helped curate as creative chair of the LA Phil. So we're both in Los Angeles, and John Adams is the creative chair of that orchestra.
So, Chris, what's it like to conduct this particular opera?
Oh, it's incredible. So John's music is part cinematic, I would say, and part minimal. So when we talk about minimalism, it doesn't mean that it's necessarily quiet. It means that it's kind of repetitive. And I think there's some connotation.
In a really good way.
No, yeah. I was about to say that there's some connotation that that repetitive is that you get stuck somewhere. And John's music is absolutely incredible. I would say this is the most fun music to conduct. Yeah. It's really challenging for everybody, for the whole orchestra, and it involves amazing counting for the singers, and they all, of course, sing from memory because they're focused on acting. So if you can imagine every single bar being in a different time signature, every single rest that they count, it feels kind of off balance for them, and they sing this beautiful soaring melody, but it's incredibly complex. So I think what we all love about it is how complex it is to perform it. Although it kind of sounds like cinematic music mixed with some kind of pop music.
Yeah.
I would say it's rock influenced, heavily rock influenced.
Oh yeah, and I actually think what's amazing about John Adams as a composer is I feel like I've been in the room several times when people hear his pieces for the first time live, and it's such an incredible aural soundscape. It's such an incredible sound that is unlike, when you think opera, you think a very specific sound, or you think, classical music, sort of the generic wash of classical music. And John Adams, it is unlike anything. If you've not heard it before, it's an experience to hear it for the first time, because it's literally, aside from just incredible writing and incredible vocal writing, there's 5,000 people in the pit, and it's just this wave of sound.
It's also humongous.
It's huge, but it's in a really fun, amazing way. There's 80 percussion instruments in the flowering tree.
It is crazy.
Yeah.
Did you have to take out some rows of seats?
No, we did have to take out rooms under the stage.
We're using the basement.
No
kidding. Because the orchestra is so large, they don't fit in the pit. So there's an extra room they've added, and I'm going to be on a TV monitor, and we have to use old TVs actually because the digital, it has to be whatever analog or the first stuff, because there's latency issues. So there's so with brand new TVs, they're I'll conduct and it'll be an eighth note off or something. It'll be slightly behind.
Oh, that would be bad.
Oh, it's so bad. It's incredibly bad. So we're going to have the basement rigged to have all the percussionists and the harp.
It'll be awesome, because then you'll have you have huge bass drum under the stage, so you have dancers and singers and
directly above that.
Wow.
It'll be cool.
Is that a first for Opera Omaha?
Well, yeah, I think.
Maybe
the whole piece is a first. The whole piece is a first for
definitely.
them in almost every way. Yeah, it's kind of incredible, because it's the first time they've had some of the cast that's here is really it's a formidable group of singers. The soprano who's singing the lead role is unreal. She's just amazing, and it's the first time she's been here. It's the first time I think they've done sort of a kind of world-class dance component, and they've been handpicked from all of the major companies all over the U.S. And then it's also the first time I think that they've done something this new. It was written in 2006, so it's compared to most opera, as opposed to 18th century, it's sort of now, which is great.
Yeah, I would imagine that a lot of people go to the opera because they're familiar with the stories, and there's a draw for that, and familiar with the music. But this is something new and exciting that people don't get to see all of the time.
Yeah. Although the story is something that is totally timeless.
Okay.
And really old, actually.
Yeah. And so it's an Indian folktale, basically, it's I don't want to give too much of it away, but you could of course go on the internet and read the synopsis.
Right.
But it's a story about kind of class and about privilege, and then about incredible beauty. and like this kind of very, very poor girl. She finds out that she can kind of like make a living for her family by turning into this incredible tree through some magic. And then the young prince, who is like incredibly entitled.
She's like skeptical. She's like,
spoiled.
A tree, huh?
A tree.
Now, is this an abstract
And
tree
then what?
Yeah.
or a physical tree?
Well, I mean, I think no. This is in the story an actual tree,
right.
On
Will we
stage,
see?
there will be parts of trees.
Well, that's part of the fun. Is
Yeah,
like
right,
it's magical realism. It's a fairy tale, and so it becomes for the director, and also in a way is like, Chris and I collaborating in the room. It becomes like, how do you take this incredible music that's been written and create something on stage that feels, it's all about storytelling and like the magic of storytelling. Yeah. And I've been in rooms where like, someone can throw like a piece of rope on the floor and you believe it's a snake if everyone else on stage believes it.
Right.
So it's literally like you're creating an environment in which extraordinary things can happen. You're watching kind of extraordinary miracles happen on stage and finding a theatrical way to represent those. And luckily the music is absolutely there to sort of hit you over the face and shake you up. But
you guys talk about collaboration a lot. Do you guys ever get to that point where you go, well, no, it should be this way. Well, no, it should be that way.
Oh yeah. I mean, last night.
Last night we did.
Last night. Do you want to tell that story?
Yeah.
Don't we open in 2 weeks? Or we
we have 2 weeks to go. Basically, we hate each other right now. No.
I noticed the tension.
Oh yeah. Incredible
Super
tension.
awful.
Yeah, there's a wall.
No, last night, it's great. There's several creative people in the room, and we'll get to certain points where in the trajectory of what we're doing, it's always about a negotiation of dramatic intent and music intent. And opera is unique because it's not like a play where an actor and a director really set the amount of time in which something occurs and thought occurs, right? So like the speed at which I say a line in Hamlet is determined in a way by me and the director, ultimately. And time can sort of bend. In an opera, it can't. And you have a certain amount of time in which things have to happen and thoughts have to occur because it's all metered out and the conductor's moving and like the train is leaving. And you're either going to figure out a way to make that work or not. And what that results in is a constant negotiation of like how to play those things and how to get at what the composer was after, but also be an artist and be an interpreter and find sort of life within it. I always say actors have like, I think I know some incredible actors and there's a lot going on mentally there when you think like you've learned lines and you're associatively, you're kind of in the moment remembering what the director told you, but then you have to kind of fabricate character. And I always am amazed because I always think opera singers kind of have that and then an additional thing, which is like they have to remember everything the director is telling them. They have to remember everything they're supposed to do on the stage. They have to make you believe that they don't actually know what they're supposed to do so that it feels fresh and new as an actor. Right. And then they also have to remember all of their music and the conductor and what he's giving them and watch them and make it look like they're not watching him but see him.
It's crazy.
I mean, it's just,
So you're saying it's going to be a catastrophe.
So basically what I'm saying is it's so incredibly difficult that if you just come to the Orpheum to see what happens. Yes.
Wow, pushing a truck full of anvils uphill is what it sounds like.
No, it's any opera's that way. And I think here, it's really cool because John Adams actually has his hand, I think, on the pulse of a lot of intimacy between human connection and people.
Yeah, absolutely.
And at its heart, she turns into a tree and there's like all this magic stuff that happens, but it's a love story. Yeah. And it's something that I think it's why people go to the theater, to have an amazing story and get invested in people and character and feel like it was good to put down the iPad for a night and like go out. So I think that's the thing that attracts me to his music, and I think
absolutely.
And it's the thing that attracts guys like talking for it, and Chris likes it too.
That tension thing again. Yeah. Well, we are looking forward to this, no question. We have a show on Friday and show on Sunday, so we can get tickets, of course, for that. But you guys, welcome again back to Omaha. I know this is not your first time, but maybe your biggest show you put on here so far.
Yeah,
no question.
We're thrilled about it.
Excellent. A Flowering Tree, Opera Omaha. Gentlemen, thanks for coming in.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us.
Thanks.